Hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Today we will be discussing about the informed consent process. So basically it is a fundamental part of clinical research. Now let's understand what does it mean and how does it work in real life. Definition. Informed consent process is a process in which before anyone who is joining the study, they are provided in detail about study. What is the study for? How and when will it be conducted? What will be the benefits of the study? What will be the risk factors? After the subject understands everything clearly, they can participate voluntarily in the study. All this is to be decided in the consent form. Introduction. Informed consent form does not merely depend on signatures of the subject but also creating understanding of individual throughout the study. The researchers in the study should always discuss everything openly with the participants and explain them about all the aspects in simple layman language. The researcher should make sure that the participant has understood everything before agreeing to the study. Researchers are not collectors but educators. They should be able to make participant understands everything in his language or language they follow. Also encourage them to ask questions and ensure that they maintain open communication through the trial phase. Steps for conducting informed consent. The first step: no participant should be included in the study without signing the consent form. Consent should always be taken before any procedure to ensure patients' safety and rights. Once the subject is ready, the researcher and the subject or the participant signs the consent form. In cases where the patient is not able to read, write or make decisions, or in case of children or elder, a legal representative should be kept to give its consent. Investigator's role and signature. The consent process starts with the investigator, who explains the study in detail to the participant. The investigator must be trained and capable of making sure the person understands why the study is being done, what will happen during it, and any possible risks or effects. After the participant agrees to join, both the investigator and the participant sign and date the consent form. This shows that consent was taken properly and that both sides understand the study information. The signature isn't just a formality, it represents honesty, clarity, and mutual trust. Sometimes the participant or their guardian may not be able to read or write the consent form. In such situations, an independent witness must be present while the consent is being explained. This witness makes sure the person understands the study and is choosing to take part willingly, without any force or pressure. The witness cannot be connected to the research team. Their role is simply to protect the participants' rights and ensure the process is fair and transparent. Role of witness. The witness has a key job in making sure the participants' rights are protected. When they sign the consent form, they are confirming that the researcher explained everything clearly, including what will happen, the benefits, and any possible risks. The witness also confirms that the participant understood the information and chose to join the study on their own, without any pressure. Their signature acts as a safety check, showing that the consent process was fair, honest, and ethical. Documentation and ethical consideration. To keep everything open and fair, the witness should clearly mention if they have any connection to either the participant or the investigator. This helps avoid any bias or conflict of interest. Before signing and dating the form, the investigator must make sure that the participant truly understands what taking part in the study involves. Each signature and date acts as proof that the consent process was handled properly, honestly, and with full responsibility. After consent is obtained, Once the consent form has been explained clearly, the participant, or their legal guardian, first gives verbal permission. If they can write, they will also sign and date the form to show their agreement. Then, an independent witness signs the form too. Their signature confirms that the participant agreed willingly and was not pushed or influenced in any way. This step completes the informed consent process, making sure it is both ethical and legally valid. Witness confirmation of consent. When the witness signs, they are giving an honest statement that the participant understood the information, the details shared were correct, and the decision to participate was made freely. Their signature serves as proof, both legally and morally, that the consent was taken properly, respectfully, and according to ethical rules. Steps in obtaining informed consent. The key steps to follow are: Step 1. Get the approval from Institutional Review Board, IRB. This will help you ensure that the study is ethical and the study meets all the required legal requirements. Step 2. Give form to each participant who is potential for the study. Also give them time to read and understand the process. Step 3. Now clearly explain the propose, procedure, duration and the outcomes after this research in simple language or in language they understand. Step 4. Encourage the participant to ask any questions related to the study and also answer them each question honestly and respectfully. Step 5. Discuss all the possible risk, benefits or any other treatment which is availability or the suitable options. Step 6. Once the consent is obtained, give the participant a signed copy of the form for records. Step 7. Allow the participant to take time for the participation. Next, ask the participant open-ended questions which will ensure he or she has understood the process. If the subject is willing to participate, make him or her sign the consent form. These steps promote trust, protect rights, and make the study transparent. Special considerations. Informed consent in children. When a study involves children, extra care is required because they cannot make decisions for themselves. Researchers must explain the study in a way the child can understand what the study is for, what will happen, and whether there may be any discomfort or pain. Parents or guardians are the ones who give official permission for the child to take part. If the study has higher risks or offers no direct benefit to the child, then written consent from both parents is needed to ensure maximum safety. Children who are old enough to understand, usually 7 years and above, should also be asked if they want to participate. They express their agreement through an assent form. This helps make sure the child is joining by choice and that their feelings and independence are respected as much as possible. Informed consent in incompetent individuals. Sometimes a person may not be able to understand the study because of conditions like mental illness, serious memory problems, or certain disabilities. In such cases, the researcher must get permission from a legally authorized representative, usually a close family member or guardian. Before giving consent, this representative should talk with doctors and family members to make sure the decision is truly in the participant's best interest. The idea here is called substituted judgment, meaning the representative should choose what the participant would have chosen if they were able to decide on their own. Informed consent in emergency situations. In some medical emergencies, doctors may need to act immediately to save a patient's life. When there isn't enough time to ask the patient or their family for consent, rules allow doctors to use special emergency treatments or experimental medicines. But this can only happen under strict conditions. Another independent doctor, someone not involved in the study, must agree that the emergency treatment is necessary. The medical team must also write down why consent could not be taken and confirm that no other treatment options were available or effective at that moment. This process makes sure that, even in urgent situations, patient safety, rights, and ethical standards are still respected. Thank you for watching this video. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more medical learning content. Stay informed, stay ethical, and I'll see you in the next video.